Okay, good morning everybody, or I guess good afternoon. How was your lunch?
Good.
Alright. Alright, so I'm going to pass out some paper, and what I want you to do is I want you to write down what you had for lunch, or breakfast this morning, or dinner last night. Doesn't matter. Just pick a meal and tell me what you had most recently for that meal. So I'll give you 2 minutes to do that.
So what we ate for lunch?
Yes, ma'am. What you ate for lunch or breakfast. Whenever you finish your list, just put your pencil down so I know that you're done. Some of you have long lists.
My list is a little long for lunchtime. Sure, without breakfast.
Alright, who wants to share? Justin?
For lunch, I ate White Castle burgers, and for breakfast, I ate a peach.
Okay. Who else?
I ate for breakfast cereal with milk with iced coffee. For lunch, I had Swedish meatballs, a V8 applesauce, a Fiber One bar, and a bag of pepper.
You ate good. I was starting lunch with you. Who else? Alexa?
This morning I had a banana and a Greek yogurt. And then for lunch I had link with me orange chicken, some jello, and a burger.
Who else?
I'll share. I had for lunch a garlic chicken hot pocket and Gatorade and a fruit cup and an oatmeal bar. A fruit yogurt oatmeal bar.
Alright, anybody else? Okay, so think about those things that you ate most recently, and where does that food come from? How did you get those items to eat? Where'd you get them from? The store?
My freezer.
Grocery store? Okay, yeah.
Delivery.
Mom brought it to your house. Where did the store get those items?
Through a big chain process.
Right, where do they come from?
The ground.
There's a long process. It's first like people who grow it, and then that is moved to people who process it, yeah, depending on what it is. And then people who transport it, and then people who wholesale it, and then people who buy it from the store.
Okay, and all of this has to do with the wonderful thing that all of us love called agriculture. So what you need to know is that none of you could have eaten your breakfast, lunch, or dinner if you didn't have agriculture. None of you would be wearing the clothes that you are wearing right now if we didn't have agriculture. So this would just be a really embarrassing hot mess. So aren't we glad that we have clothes and food? So today we are going to begin to explore some of what agriculture has to offer. And so today we will define agricultural commodities, discuss the effects of agricultural commodities on our day-to-day lives, such as eating breakfast and dinner, and analyze trends of commodities and their potential effect on modern society. So, first of all, what does agricultural commodities mean? Does anybody have a guess? Anybody? What is commodity? What's commodity?
Larger scale, beginning product.
Resources.
Yeah. Okay, so basically a commodity is just something that's useful or valuable that can be bought or sold or made into something else. And so an agricultural commodity, as determined by the USDA, are derived from farming or cultivating of soil, producing crops, and raising livestock. So it's just anything that we can grow, anything that we can raise, that's valuable to us, that can either be sold as what it is or be turned into something else. So I have a couple videos for you guys, and we're going to check those out. And as we're watching the videos, I want you to remember to look for agricultural commodities and see what they're used for. Kind of have an interesting company that I chose to use. Ta-da! But these are actually some pretty interesting videos. So pay attention to what they're saying and what's going on here.
I've been farming for 14 years here in the Slants Valley, born and raised.
Do you want?
I was gonna say, can you make it bigger? So
Yeah.
Did you say
Generation farmer. For me, farming is a family. I've been farming for 14 years here in the Slants Valley, born and raised. 4th generation farmer. For me, farming is a family tradition. My grandfather was one of the pioneers that actually filled a rail car with ice on top of the lettuce crates. In essence, was a iceberg, hence the name iceberg lettuce.
Okay, so what agricultural commodity are we talking about in this video?
Lettuce.
Lettuce. And where does iceberg lettuce get its name?
because the guy's grandpa put ice on top of the lettuce.
Right. So a long time ago, before we had all of our modern, big trucks and everything that haul these commodities into wherever they're either refined or distributed, they used trains. And so what they would do is they'd load all this lettuce into the train, and then they had workers, like this guy's grandfather, who would load all this ice on top of the lettuce to keep it cool and keep it fresh while they shipped it. So aren't we lucky that we have refrigerated trucks now that do all that for us? But that's actually where it got its name, so that's kind of cool.
The beautiful weather and soil that we have here enables us to grow high quality lettuce. But agriculture is the backbone of this nation. Farmers are stewards of the land, and we know how to take care of this resource better than anyone. We would never want to take anything away from this ground because it is our livelihood. We're providing lettuce for 80% of the nation. It's a pretty astounding number.
Provide lettuce for how much of the nation?
80%.
80%. And he was talking about agriculture is the backbone of our nation, and that there's really nothing that we can do if we don't have agriculture. So that's a really interesting thing, is that look at all that lettuce out there, and they're showing you all the fields and all the different types of lettuce that they're growing. And so agriculture is a huge scale deal. There's really nothing that we can do without it.
To produce high quality lettuce, the attention to detail is demanding, and we are here every day making sure we can make that happen for McDonald's. And just looking at the quality of the color, McDonald's expects high quality and freshness on a daily basis. It used to take weeks, but now, within days, our lettuce is harvested, triple rinsed, and delivered to McDonald's. And it's just top quality from field to fork. We have answered the task of putting lettuce in the marketplace every day of the year. We're very proud of raising the freshest produce in the nation. It's a shame that people take for granted all the hard work and energy and resources it takes to produce lettuce. There's a lot of history here. Proud to be part of it and carry on this tradition of fresh produce.
I can remember a time when McDonald's didn't have lettuce.
Really?
Yeah, because they couldn't, all they sold were like hamburgers and things like that, but none of their hamburgers, they didn't sell salads, they didn't sell anything like that.
Yeah, fresh produce is really
Yeah,
hard to
remember
transport.
The only one that did, I think, was the Big Mac, and it had the real shredded kind of lettuce.
Mhm.
But they said that as they looked into it, their problem was trying to find a uniform product that they could have shipped all over the country. So I guess, this guy stepped up to the plate. And
Yeah, it looks like he's got plenty of lettuce to go around for everybody. Okay, so what steps are involved in the process from the farm to McDonald's? I mean, what you're looking at in this video was just fields and fields of lettuce. How does it get from the field to McDonald's where you're eating it on your hamburger? Mm-hmm.
Transported, washed.
Yeah, he mentioned that it's all triple rinsed, and it showed you the lettuce being chopped up and taken through the machines, and then what happens to it then?
Loaded onto trucks.
Mm-hmm.
Bagged.
Yeah, and then shipped off where you eat it. Okay, so we have another video. These are different kinds of commodities, so remember to watch for what this one is, and just kind of listen to what's going on. They'll explain some about the processes of what they do in their business. And remember, these are businesses for each of these people that you're watching. This is their livelihood. This is how they make their money.
This whole property that we got, once upon a time, was part of a coal mine. We took something that some folks would have said, was absolutely worthless, and now we've got it producing food for people all around the world.
Why was that land considered worthless?
It was,
Been strip mined.
yeah.
And so once they took all the coal out of it, there was nothing left for people to use for it. So now they're using it as a cattle ranch and making a ton of money off of all these cattle that they're raising. And so there's lots of different facets in agriculture and lots of different ways that we can use the land to develop and produce really important resources for everybody all over the world.
It takes a lifetime to build a ranch, and that's kind of what we've been doing, and it's worked out pretty good for us. Good place to raise a family. My kids, they've been here and they've been in the cattle business since they were old enough to walk. We take a great deal of pride in what we do here. Beef's what we do. We're all pitching in together, and if you're in for a penny, you're in for a pound. You got to learn to do the dance with these cows. It's not something that happens overnight. It comes with experience, and it comes with a lot of passion, and occasionally getting your butt kicked. You get to be pretty good at it, or you go find something else to do. There's no better job than one where you actually never go to work, and I don't think I've ever gone to work a day in my life, because I absolutely love it. Most everything that we put into these cattle comes from either from this ranch or somewhere local. The fact that we produce beef from McDonald's, it's a big deal. They have a certain set of quality expectations that absolutely have to be met. You can't get taste without good quality. There's no way to cut corners on that. As a parent and a grandparent, it's great to see those kids take an active part in it, and one of these days I'm going to ride off in the sunset, and it'd be nice to know that somebody else will continue that tradition.
Look at the kids in their coveralls. They're so cute. Okay, so other than cute kids in coveralls, what have we seen there? Beef cattle, yeah. And so I just thought it was really interesting because how many of you have gone to McDonald's and thought, agriculture, yes, before you took a bite of your Big Mac? And here, so far, we've seen two different ways that agriculture profoundly affects this huge multi-billion-dollar industry. McDonald's is all over the place. How many places do you go to now? If you take a 4-hour road trip, you're going to pass 5 or 10 McDonald's along the way. And so agriculture is literally behind everything that goes on in this industry.
Yeah, normally when you think of McDonald's, you're thinking like an urban setting.
Yeah.
A bigger city.
Yeah,
Really think
exactly.
about
And
a ranch in the middle of nowhere.
they're not out in the middle of nowhere, out in the field, but that's where all these things come from. Okay, there's one more video I want you guys to watch.
I grew up on a farm my life. Every summer, that's all I did was work on the farm, and I love it. Love it, love it. Farming's just a way of life. It's not just that it is a family business. You get to literally see your hard work grow. When I told my dad I wanted to be a potato farmer, he thought I was crazy. He tried to talk me out of it. When I finished college with a nursing degree and became a registered nurse, he kept telling me, you have a good job in town, why would you want to come back and risk everything every year to farm? And so now I'm a full-time potato farmer and a part-time nurse. We take a lot of pride in not only growing potatoes, but growing the quality that McDonald's wants. You tell people that our potatoes go and make McDonald's French fries. They're like, really? Those are the best fries. Yeah. I'm just grateful to my dad for not only instilling the work ethic in me, but for allowing me to follow my dreams and follow in his footsteps. I wouldn't trade this life for anything.
those little golden crispy things that y'all are eating, those actually came from a living plant once upon a time. Who knew? I think it's important when we're looking at agriculture to look at it broad spectrum, because so many times people assume that agriculture just has to do with just farming or just raising animals. I know when I was at fish camp, not A&M's fish camp, but Taylor's fish camp, as the older upperclassmen were walking the freshmen around showing them their classrooms, I was standing out in the hall, introducing myself to everybody, and as the upperclassmen would walk by, they would point out, oh, this is ag class, this is where you get an animal. And they keep walking. And I was like, no, that's not what we do here. I think it's really important that we learn all these things about different facets of agriculture and different ways that it affects us and what it's used for. Because people think, oh, if you're involved in ag, then you just farm or you just have a cow or a chicken or a pig. But it's so much more than that. It's literally everything that we do, everything that we eat, everything that we touch, how these tables get in here because somebody put them together, and that's agricultural mechanics. Our clothes, somebody raised the cotton to make these clothes, and your food, you wouldn't have any of that if it wasn't for ag. So it's really broad spectrum. It's really awesome. There's tons and tons of careers involved in ag, and we're going to be looking at a bunch of those starting next week, I believe, and we're going to do some research projects into different agricultural careers. So what are some differences that you saw in the different products, like how they were raised, or maybe some different things that you noticed that the individual said about maybe their different product, or how it was important to them, or how it affected their lives?
When I talked about quality,
Mm-hmm.
Quality was always looking for.
Yeah. Not just that it was important for, a fast food company, but that they took a lot of pride in what they were raising and the hard work that they put into it. I thought it was really interesting. The girl that was doing the potato farming said it's cool to watch your hard work grow, because when you're growing something and you plant these seeds and you're like, man, I really want this to work out for me, and then you literally get to watch it become something, from start to finish. And that's a really cool thing. She gets to put those seeds in the ground and cultivate it, and then eat some McDonald's French fries and know, hey, these came from my potatoes that I worked really hard on. Is there anything else that you guys thought was interesting or cool? Does anybody have any questions so far? Justin?
The last one was really cute.
Thank you for that. I'm glad you thought so. Okay, so I'm going to have you guys get into groups of 2 or 3, just kind of break up for a little bit. And then I'm going to go ahead and give you guys your case studies. We're going to take a look at these.
I think I'll go with the professors with the doctors.
Maybe you want to be with us.
I will be with y'all.
Thank you.
Alright, so who wants to read first?
I'll read.
Okay.
Mr. Walker's cattle operation has been passed down in his family for 3 generations. He raises commercial cattle and owns his own feeder operation. His entire family works on the ranch, including his wife Shirley and their 3 sons, and his brother Mike and his wife Lizzie. The family lives solely off the income of the business.